The ProFlex machine is designed to increase the flexibility and the range of motion in your hip joints. We begin with the basic stretch straight to the center to elongate the spine and to allow the vertebra to decompress. So as you're hanging in the seated position, you don't have the weight of your lower body, which is huge, as opposed to stretching out on the cable machine or an overhead pull-up bar. With the ProFlex, you're going to be able to determine your range of motion, and also you're going to be able to chart your progress. They guarantee that your flexibility will increase at least 10%, and we have seen improvements much greater than that. As the student or the golfer would open up their legs and increase the range of motion or the distance between the center, they would find that their adductors are going to be stretched, they would find their hamstrings, their glutes, as well as their erector spinae. When both hands go to one side and the boom is moved to the right hand side, that's when you're going to have the stretch in the latissimus dorsi, a little bit in the trapezius and in the deltoids. You would do both sides, and then we would work on our hamstring. The boom would go back to the center, your one foot would be on the floor, and that's when you would isolate each hamstring. For the final check, the crank would be turned back out to determine the degree of flexibility, and we would always chart the number on the top and which position so that there would be consistency in the stretch. Each golfer has a specific range of motion in their hip girdle. You are blessed with a certain amount of flexibility or dexterity, as it were, in the hip socket. Typically, women have a greater degree of flexibility, but it doesn't have to be that way. Obviously, if Tiger Woods can go out to 180 degrees, that's like beyond perpendicular. So that might be a little bit more than the average golfer could attempt. But we've noticed with limited motion at the beginning, most golfers are able to get to the degree of about 70 to 80 at the beginning. And then once they've worked on their flexibility with continuity, then they can get up to about 115 to 120. Again, just like with your golf swing, practice is the key. If you continue to work on it, you will see the improvements. And that relieves the pressure in the lower lumbar spine so that L1 through 5 don't receive as much torque and torsion as they would if you're not flexible. So if our goal is to prevent injury, if I'm a golfer and I want to protect my hips and my lower back, then I would want to improve my flexibility and work on my range of motion so that I do not have the pinched nerves in the lower back and that I don't have to worry about icing the lower back every single time I play golf. With the performance standards, if the whole golf movement is pivotal around the spine, if my body torques to the right and then to the left, then that means I have to have not only a strong core, but flexible muscles in the erector spinae group that will allow me optimal performance.